to do ICN.
I've only done one
Like
ICN season.
And that was last year,
Yeah.
obviously, to 2023.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, yeah.
Why don't you have a little talk to me about that year for you, like how you sort of got into that, right, I'm going to do ICN and the prep and what you were looking for?
So throughout my off season, I'd been following IFBB and ICN.
Yeah.
And I'd spoken to a few people that had been doing ICN. And they'd had really good experiences. ICN, for people that don't know, is a tested federation.
It's naturally
So it's a natural federation. I'm natural with no plans on doing anything yet. I mean, never say never, but at the moment I'm happy being natural.
Yeah.
So I kind of like the idea of a bit of a more even playing ground.
Yes.
And initially I really wanted to pursue IFBB, and I love IFBB. I think it's the best of the best. It's how you get to the Olympia. It's where the freak shows live.
Yeah.
And when I first started bodybuilding, I was like, yes, I'm going to get to the Olympia. Like, that was my goal. And then I kind of realized to get to the Olympia, bodybuilding has to be your whole life.
Yeah.
And there are sacrifices you have to make that at the moment I'm not necessarily willing to make them. Lots of sacrifices, like with your career, with your family, relationships, your health, and what you're willing to do to get there, which is like awesome. And I love the Olympia. I love watching the Olympia and following Olympians.
Yes.
And if that's what you want to do, then that's so cool. But at the moment, that's just not. And I guess that's a bit of self-belief as well that I still have. Like, I'm not even sure that I would get there, right? And why would I want to sacrifice my whole life when I might not even get there? Who knows genetically if I'm even capable of that? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's not my goal at the moment.
Yeah.
If I set my mind to it, I'm sure I could probably do that actually, but that's not my goal at the moment. So I decided ICN was a good route for me. And my plan was to do ICN and IFBB that season and kind of see how I place and get my feedback and stuff like that, and then decide which national show to do, because they were on the same day, the ICN and IFBB national show. But after I did my first ICN show, and I like cleaned up. I took out overall bikini. I placed first in all my classes. I was like, oh, well, after not placing very well in IFBB a couple of years ago, I was like, well, ICN likes me the way I am. And it was run really well. Like, the shows were really smooth. It didn't feel like super rushed or like they just wanted my money. It felt really genuine.
Yes.
And I like that. I really like that. The vibe was so good. Like, the community vibe was so nice. All the judges and everything, the way it was run was really good. So I was like, okay, I really like this federation. They like me, obviously. So why not take the time and just pursue this and get this really right? And that's when all that mindset work that I'd done had really helped for that belief. And I think when you believe in yourself, you work harder. That's probably why it works, right?
Yes,
if you think you can do it, you work harder.
Yeah.
And I'd been working my ass off, and then after I won that overall, and I started thinking, okay, maybe I could actually get my pro card. Like, why not try? And my partner, he's so supportive, and I was kind of talking to him like, do you think I could actually do well in this? He said, yeah, why don't you just pursue that? Like, you could definitely get your pro card. They obviously really like you, so just push for that. That makes sense. And I thought, yeah, So I decided not to do that IFBB show that year. And I pushed for my ICN Pro card. I was like doing my visualization. I'm really big on visualization
Yeah.
coming into competitions. I like manifested it. I worked my ass off, and then I won my pro card.
Yes, it was pretty special, wasn't it? Pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Great.
And like I had so much family there, which was so
That was cool.
nice.
I really love that part. Just
Yeah,
being
yeah.
staying
My
in the same house
nana.
together, and yeah, just sharing that moment with you was amazing. Very cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was nice.
Yes. So would that be like your number one thing out of all your shows so far? Would that be the best show for you?
Well, for sure. That's got to be my best. I think I performed better at the show before.
Okay. Interesting.
I think my posing was better at the show before. Obviously, like my physique was sick.
Yeah.
Personally, I believe that's the best physique I've had when I won my pro card.
Yeah.
That's the most shredded I've been.
Yes,
That's the most conditioned.
your condition was great on that show. Yeah.
Mhm. That was the
probably
most
best of it.
conditioned I've been. So that's like my favorite look so far.
Yeah.
But I think I didn't get much stage time because I'm not an amateur anymore, so I could only do one class.
Yeah.
And I think the more classes you do, the better, because you can like warm up into the overall as you get more stage time. And I only had one moment, and I was really nervous.
Yeah.
Of course, you're always
Yeah.
nervous when you step on stage, and the stage was tiny. It was too small.
Yeah.
So it's always kind of
Especially for
awkward
that
when the
class.
stage.
Yeah, it's a big class.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes it
It's a
quite
bit
hard.
awkward when the stage is small, so it was just like it was an awesome venue. It was really cool, but it was kind of weird. Like it threw me a little bit.
Yeah.
It threw me a little bit. I remember saying to Zane, my partner, I probably said it to a few people. I was like, I turned up and I saw the venue. It was basically like outdoor with a glass roof,
Yeah.
and I was like, this is not what I've been visualizing.
Yeah.
I did not visualize winning in this.
Yeah.
Like I'd visualized a normal stage indoors kind of thing.
Yeah.
I was like, this has thrown me.
It
This
threw
is
me.
not what I visualized.
I wasn't even competing in it. It threw me. I was like, oh man, how's this going to go? Like, what's the lighting going to be like? Is it going to be consistent? Is it when the sky goes overcast or bright, or what's the lighting going to be like then? So yeah, there was a lot of questions around it. I probably wouldn't do at that show again myself, venue, but
No.
yeah, it was still.
It worked out all right for me, to be honest.
You were good.
But yeah, I think the lighting wasn't ideal. Like even in the photos, you can see the lighting wasn't that good, but
Yeah.
it was still really well run and everything went smoothly. Bodybuilding shows are notorious for running behind schedule, so of course it ran behind a schedule, but yeah, still got out of there and got to have some dinner. So
Yeah.
it's always a good day when you finish a show and you can have dinner.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I thought they ran it pretty well for the size of the event as well. I do really like ICN as a federation. I think they are for the athlete, which is what bodybuilding federations should be. And I do think some of the larger federations do miss that. They sort of forget about, hey, this is for the athlete, and to showcase them and help them and guide them, and become more around this is a business, which I think is a bit of a shame. Yeah.
You can you can understand how that would happen though as well, But yeah, I really like ICN.
Yeah, it is a business at the end of the day, isn't it? But yeah, it's about, I guess, what your values are in terms of that business.
Yeah, I think Brenda does a really good job.
She does. She's great, Brenda. I really like her. She's very passionate about helping the athletes and being fair to them, and giving them the best experience, which is exactly what it needs to be. So, yeah, very good. So the best memory for you is, I guess, the posing in the Taupo show, and then the pro card in the Nationals, Hamilton. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, I've every show I've been to, I've made friends.
Yeah.
Which is nice. And Yeah, well, I mean, that pro card was so awesome.
Yeah,
That's got to be the best show. That's got to be the best show.
yeah, that's cool.
I really like Tournament of Champions. I think that's a
It's a
cool
good show.
show. It's
Yep.
always at an amazing venue.
Yes.
It's run pretty well. So
Yep.
shout out to
Um,
the people that run Tournament of Champions and sponsor that, because that's an awesome IFBB show.
yeah, it is. Shane Hunter runs a
Um,
great show down in Palmy. He's a good dude as well. He has, yeah, really. And again, he's about the athlete, right? So he helped with,
yeah.
the best show for the athletes, and I think I really respect that as well for him. And he's just a good,
Yeah.
genuine person as well.
So that's always a fun show to do. I've done that twice. But yeah, pro card's got to take the cake.
Yeah, of course. Has to. Yeah. So then, future plans for you? Obviously, we can't do any more amateur shows in New Zealand, or ever, but international pro cards, international pro shows. What's on the agenda for you with that? What do you want to do?
So I actually haven't spoken to you about this yet.
No.
So you don't know. But it looks like I'm gonna have to move. My original plan was to move to the US at the end of this year.
That's right.
But but the visa that I need is backdated to 2022. So looks like I'm 26 and I just really feel like I'm ready for an adventure outside of the country. So I'm taking this year off to focus on saving money. I've started a new job in the ICU, which is quite intense.
Mhm.
I've got a big exam to sit, so I'm focusing on that this year, and I've decided to take an off season, grow some more muscle, work on my mindset some more, because when I step on stage with the pros, I want to be competitive.
Yes.
So that's what I'm doing this year, and it looks like I'll be going to Aussie to
Okay.
live at the end of this year.
Ah.
While I wait for my USA visa, so there's a lot of pro shows in Aussie.
Yes. There
So
is.
looking like potentially pro debut early next year. We'll see.
Oh, well, that will be exciting. Whereabouts in Aussie?
I'm thinking North Queensland.
Okay. Yep.
Haven't decided yet. I've got to do some more research.
Yep.
As long as there's a hospital there, I can work there.
Yep.
So,
pretty much.
But it's like, for me, weather is a big thing. I like to be outdoors. The weather here in Wellington sometimes it's not conducive to a particularly outdoor lifestyle.
No, it can be quite tough, especially once a time.
Yeah. So I want to be outdoors more. I just want to have a bit more of that kind of lifestyle, and I feel like Queensland is the best place to go.
Cool. Yep.
And they're desperate for nurses, so.
Yes. Yeah. Well, your job is pretty secure and safe no matter what country you're in, really. So, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, so look out, Queensland.
Look out, Queensland. Yeah, I'm hoping to keep you in New Zealand for a little bit longer for my own selfish reasons. No.
Yeah. You can come visit.
Yeah, I'll definitely come visit for sure.
Yeah. For my pro debut.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be awesome. It'd be cool to just go over there and see that, your pro debut. One thing I do want to go over is what people often struggle with is coming out of a show is putting weight on, like putting body fat back on. Now, your first shows probably would be very different to how you feel now. What sort of changed for you, or how did you experience it with reversing and starting to put body fat back on? What did you feel?
Oh, it's hard. Like, it's really hard. That's probably still the thing I struggle with the most.
Yeah.
Like, I really love how I look when I'm really conditioned.
Yes.
So that makes it hard because, a lot of people, they don't actually like how they look when they're that conditioned, but I love the feeling. Like, I kind of like going to bed hungry and that you're losing weight and your tummy's gurgling. You're like, yes. And I think maybe I took the enjoy the suffering too far, because that's a big part of prep, like enjoying the suffering.
Yeah, you have to enjoy your suffer, because it's you have to suffer to get to the reward. So because it means you're working
with anything in life.
Yeah.
Anything, like if you're studying, if you're trying to create a business, if you're doing anything, learning a language, whatever. And that's why I think doing a bodybuilding prep is really useful, for your mindset, because you can apply that to everything you're trying to achieve.
Yes.
But anyway, coming out of prep, gaining weight is hard. It's really hard. When I did that big off season, I was really thinking like, okay, I'm just trying to build muscle, and I'll do what it takes, and I'll eat. And I ate so much, like I followed the plan. I got my calories up so high. I was eating like, for me, I don't think you need to gain a heap of fat to build muscle, because especially as a natural athlete, when you're shredding to lose all that body fat, the net gain, because you lose all that body fat, and you end up losing a bit of muscle as well, and then the net gain works out to be the same as whether you've gained heaps of body fat or just done a lean gain. It's about the same. Because you don't have to go so hard when you lean gain and don't gain as much body fat. You don't have to go so hard to lose that
You
fat.
definitely don't want to be
So
losing 10 to 15 kilos as a bikini athlete. It's quite high.
no. So I ended up, after that big long off season, I had to lose about no. I'm getting confused.
Yeah.
So after my first season, going into my second season, I had to lose about 14 kg. Like I ballooned a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's when I'd got my calories up so high in a short amount of time.
Right, yeah.
For me, I think the best approach, I like to be quite conservative about it. I find that's what works best for me. I like to reverse slowly, and ideally I want to be between like 10 to 15% at the most up from my stage weight.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of a spot where metabolically I'm healthy enough. I can get my calories up enough to be performing well in the gym, gaining muscle, feeling good, but still feel like I'm a bikini athlete, and I want to look like a bikini athlete year round.
Yeah.
And if you go too far, you don't look like an athlete anymore. And if I don't look like an athlete, I don't feel like myself.
Yeah.
So I'd rather be more conservative, just lean gain, 10 to 15% up from stage weight, look like a bikini athlete, which is still hard. Like mentally, it's still hard even being up that much. And I still struggle with that, to be honest. But then when I'm struggling, I just remind myself like, wow, I went out for dinner twice last week.
Yeah.
And not being super shredded and having all these memories and this flexibility, that's worth it.
Yeah.
In the off season, there's a time and a place, and the place for me now is to work on being more metabolically healthy, and with that I get the flexibility of eating out and not having to do so much cardio and not having to sacrifice all these things for that look. So there's a time that will come when I can, get shredded again and sacrifice these things, but now is not that time. And that's not the season I'm in. So it's just embracing that and reminding myself that.
Yes.
I think it's just either, no matter what season you're in, it's about having gratitude for the season you're in. And that's how you stay happy in this lifestyle.
Yeah, because it is a lifestyle, isn't it? It's not like you can do it for 12 weeks and then you're back to normal. You got to live and breathe all the time.
This is normal.
Yeah, exactly. Living the lifestyle of a bodybuilder for us is just normal for us. It doesn't necessarily mean that if you want to lose body fat or you want to be healthy, that you have to do what we do. What we do is actually extreme. And you shouldn't need to do this for a general healthy life. But if you choose to, then you have to choose it for forever, basically. Well, for at least that whole off-season and pre-season. Then you might say, look, it's not for me anymore. Then, you go straight away, which is fine as well. Yeah.
For me, I think the reason I do this is based in health, truly health and fitness, and mentally and physically.
Yeah.
So even like my lifestyle is based on health, and my bodybuilding lifestyle is based on health. And of course, there's moments where we're not healthy, but even
But overall,
if I don't have a show planned, I don't have a show planned.
yeah.
But I continue to live this lifestyle because it is what is healthy for me,
Yes.
and it's what's good for me. So that's why there's no going back to normal, because this is normal for me, because I do this for myself to prioritize my health
Yep.
and my mental health.
Yeah. And if you feel good about yourself, well, what does that mean for other people around you? You can be more supportive of them, help them more, especially in your line of work, right? Being a nurse. Imagine if you aren't physically healthy. It's very, very hard to just move.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So being tired all the time and not able to think clearly, because look, let's face it, if you're unhealthy, you're not operating at your optimal range of capabilities. So
Exactly.
yeah.
So if I went back to what people say is normal these days, like the general American diet and sedentary lifestyle, I wouldn't feel good.
No. Yeah.
And that's not happy for me. That's not my happy place. I like feeling good.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame these unhealthy lives have been normalized in a way, and acceptance and all that kind of stuff, because it's okay to not live a positive life. To live a sedentary, negative, self-conscious life is normal. It's like, no, it doesn't need to be that way. It doesn't need to be bodybuilding, but it needs to be a positive life.
Yeah, and I always say, when you're a bodybuilder, people always want to talk to you about this kind of thing. And I've had so many people say, oh, well, I tried going to the gym and I just didn't like it, but I should really go back, I should really try again. And I say, you don't have to go to the gym.
No.
You don't have to be a bodybuilder. You just need to find something
you enjoy.
You like doing.
Yeah.
That is active. You can go. I mean, for me, I think resistance training.
Well,
there's a lot of benefits to resistance
training. Yeah.
But there's lots of ways you can do that. Like even yoga, that's body weight resistance. Like dance classes, martial arts.
Yep.
There's so many different things you can do. Even start by just going for a walk.
Yeah. It's really important for everyone to be doing some form of activity, and resistance training definitely, especially for females, even more so than men, because of the bone density side of things. When you go through menopause, 30 to 40% of bone density is lost in females, time. So doing some form of resistance training, I believe, is even more important for females. But like you said, it doesn't have to be at the gym. Could be at home, just resistance bands. Could be going for a swim, with some paddles and stuff like that. There's so many different ways to do this, and it doesn't have to be surrounded by bodybuilders at a gym. Not that most gyms are like that, and to be honest, because City Fitness definitely doesn't that way.
Definitely not.
Just general population. There's female-only gyms, which are great. There's lots of different ways you can do this.
I think as long as it's something you can sustain,
that's the key.
That's fine. And if you're miserable, sometimes I do think it's kind of weird how much I love just like picking up and putting down things. But I understand how not everyone would like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said,
like you sort of dabbled in the gym a little bit when you were younger, but it wasn't a passion for you back then. Right? But that was also probably because you didn't really have a purpose. You didn't have a reason to go there.
No.
You weren't really associating the gym with being a healthier, more positive person.
Yeah.
But now that you do, it's like, cool, this is actually adding to me, and it's helping me and taking me where I want to be. So it's like, now I actually enjoy doing what I do. And I think it's a bit of that mindset thing again with people, is that they don't associate the hard work with positive outcomes. They just think, oh, this is hard.
Yeah, and I think it's delayed gratification as well.
That's the big thing. Definitely. Yeah.
You don't feel it straight away. You don't see it straight away, so you don't recognize what's going on. But it takes time, and it's just knowing that your investment will pay off.
Yeah, that's it.
You keep pushing and your investment will pay off.
Well, it's almost like a guarantee, isn't it? Like, because if you're putting in a little bit every single day or of the week, you know that it's going to come back to reward you in the future. But like you see, you know, like you start a diet day one and you look in the mirror and like, oh, I don't have abs yet. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I've done a diet for a whole day, right? But
To be honest, that's me every time I train abs.
yeah.
It's like, where are they?
Yeah. So it's again delayed gratification, but long term you're going to be more successful by sticking to something and doing it, even when you don't want to do it.
Yeah. One thing we haven't covered is the importance of having a good coach.
Yeah. I probably should talk about that, being a coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like kind of like you told me that I have to say that, but truly, having a good coach is so important, and being coachable is so important.
Yeah.
And we could probably spend we could talk about that for a whole video about that, but I'll just say, when you're choosing a coach, find one that you really click with. Make sure you go through the process of talking to them, talking to their clients. It makes all the difference, because with the right person on your side, you the words. Yeah, the words.
What are you looking for? Supportive.
I hope you're good at editing.
I can do it, but yeah.
You're gonna. This is a long video. You're gonna have to.
I'm gonna have a long time editing.
Put some work in for this.
Yeah.
But with the right coach on your side, you will be able to achieve a lot more.
Yeah. I mean, I say to everyone, like, I've been doing this for a long time, and I've had a coach for the last 12 years plus, non-stop. But before that, I was still going to the gym. Like, I was going to the gym since I was 18. So I didn't need a coach till I was 28, maybe. Once I got a coach, everything changed. Like, everything. Like, the progress went from like to boof, straight away.
Yeah.
Your whole mindset changes, your accountability changes, the way you look at everything changes, your form changes. Like, it just clicks, right? And then you get better and better and better. And
one other thing that I really like is, like, if I wanted to, I've got the knowledge to be able to do my own programs.
Yeah.
I can do my macros. I could write myself a meal plan. I could program for myself very easily. But why should I, when I've got an amazing person that's better than me at it?
Yeah.
Who can do it for me? And I just turn up at the gym and I don't have to think about it. I just turn up, and it's like save my headspace for other things.
Yeah. But it's the same thing with every job, right? Like, as a nurse, I wouldn't come to you as a patient or something and start telling you how to do these things, because I don't know anything about it. Like, I might have some sort of knowledge, but I bet people do, right? But I might have a little bit of limited knowledge. And I think that's a bit of an issue with some people, is that they know a little bit to be dangerous, but not enough to actually know the full story. And they think, oh, I know enough to do this. It's like, well, you only know that much, opposed to, this much. And someone's living and breathing
bodybuilding.
Especially bodybuilding. And when someone lives and breathes that lifestyle, that career, nursing, bus driving, coaching, whatever it is, they're going to know more than you. That is why you go to a specialist to see them about something. Like, you go to a doctor for general health, you go to a specialist to look at a shoulder issue. Here you go. It's about being specific in terms of what you're looking to achieve and getting the right help for it.
And with bodybuilding, you can mess yourself up. Like, it is extreme. Yes. So both mentally and physically, you can mess yourself up. And having a coach that knows what they're doing, and you might have symptoms in bodybuilding that you don't even know are an issue.
Exactly.
You're like, why am I so dizzy all the time? But if I'm feeling these things, I just tell Amber straight away, and we do things to address it. And if we have to do some more things, get some blood work done, go to the doctor, whatever we need to do to address the root cause, then we do that. But I've got someone with knowledge to guide me through that. Otherwise, going in blind, it's dangerous territory.
It is.
It's dangerous territory, and it can be done very safely,
Yes.
and can be managed really well, but it's a science and it's a skill. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's why it's important to find a good coach. And a bad coach can send you flying down the wrong path, and you don't want that.
Well,
Do your research.
not just that, a bad coach, and I've seen this time and time again, that people come and their metabolism is destroyed. Like, because they haven't reduced them out of a diet, they are mentally unstable because they hate themselves and they're putting on all this weight, and it's just setting themselves up to be not do well in the future. And then, as for me, I have to say, well, fuck, what do I do now? Like, you're already on 1,200 calories a day, you're doing an hour of cardio, and you're not losing body fat. In fact, you're putting it on. Something's not right here. Like, we actually need to address the issues that you've got before you even look at bodybuilding ever again, because you can't get to the stage like that. That's just not going to happen.
That's unfair.
Yeah, it's unfair. Well, I'm going to put you on 800 calories, so you fucking shrivel up and have no energy to do anything.
And then what?
Yeah, then what? Yeah, it's just not. It's not morally.
It's not sustainable.
No. I mean, no bodybuilding prep is sustainable, but that's the whole point of it. And the sustainability comes from is how you come out of that prep, like how you reverse it.
True.